Hello, I'm Lara Kulcharsan and this is Newsfeed, your dose of what people are talking about online. With Donald Trump's victory, big tech giants are bracing for potential changes and possible easing of regulations. In the lead-up to the US election, tech billionaire Elon Musk poured more than $100 million into Trump's campaign. But the big question is, what does he stand to gain? His benefits have been rolling in fast. Immediately after Trump claimed victory, the world's richest man added $15 billion to his net worth. And that's not all. Trump had previously floated the idea of appointing Musk to a cabinet position focused on cost-cutting. This could mean the probes from the Senate and Congress into his companies could just quietly go away. As a tech mogul, Musk stands to shape the future of the industry under Trump's administration in unimaginable ways.
Analysts at TD Cowen say that Trump is likely going to deliver a materially more positive regulatory environment for mega-cap tech than Harris would have, referring to names like Alphabet, Amazon, Meta, Apple, and Microsoft. They emphasize, for example, that Trump opposed a breakup of Google because geopolitically the U.S. government needs a strong Google as it competes with China. In other words, their point is that Trump does seem to view big American tech companies as very valuable assets on that chessboard of geopolitical competition. Bottom line, TD Cowen analysts see Trump as materially positive across the board for the largest tech platforms because of his impact on, one, U.S. antitrust, meaning they expect softening remedies, settling existing cases, a laissez-faire approach to AI, and reviving M&A. And two, the EU. They think Trump will use tariff threats to pressure the EU to back down on tech regulation, which of course is shaping up as a headwind for big tech next year.
A massive headache to Donald Trump's administration is the looming ban on TikTok. 4 years after supporting banning the app, the next president may just be TikTok's savior. The Republican Party has already retaken the Senate and stands a good chance of controlling the House too. This means any decision on TikTok won't necessarily have to go through the courts and could be decided by Republican politicians. And talking about Chinese-owned companies, US-China relations will also be in focus. Trump is expected to introduce new tariffs, which for China could be up to 60%. This comes as Beijing is scrambling to manage its economy.
Now that Donald Trump is going to be president, your fears about TikTok being banned here in the United States are probably going to be ending. You see, Donald Trump said that he's going to make sure that TikTok is not banned. So the really messed up thing is that a lot of people always came after conservatives here on TikTok, but Donald Trump is the one that was going to save everyone. And Kamala Harris and Joe Biden tried to get rid of TikTok, even making sure that that was going to happen by Biden signing it, yet everybody here on TikTok supported them.
Bitcoin investors are certainly celebrating Trump's win. The price of the digital currency has soared to record highs, surging well above the $76,000 mark. During the campaign, Trump vowed to make the United States the crypto capital of the planet, and it looks like investors have taken him at his word.
Crypto is going to define the future. I want to be mined, minted, and made in the USA. It's going to be. It's not going to be made anywhere else. And if Bitcoin is going to the moon, as we say, it's going to the moon, I want America to be the nation that leads the way, and that's what's going to happen.
Trump being elected is one of the best things that could have happened for crypto at this time. And the first thing I really want to see him do, and I hope to see him do in the financial and crypto space, is fire the chairman of the SEC, Gary Gensler. The second thing for this space that I hope to see him do is create the strategic Bitcoin reserve that he said that he was going to do. So buy Bitcoin with the US dollar. And overall, I'm really looking for him to deliver on the things that he said he's going to do. But only time will tell.
While many people still rely on family, friends, or doctors when they're feeling down, social media is quickly becoming a new go-to for support. A 2024 report shows that 68% of adult TikTok users now turn to the platform for mental health advice. The shift comes due to rising healthcare costs, a shortage of professionals, and the struggle to secure timely appointments. But experts warn that much of the content on social media platforms can be misleading.
There are many social media tips out there about improving your mental health that are not only inaccurate, but they can actually be downright harmful for you. These really unhelpful pieces of mental health advice can be taken on by a lot of people and maybe even go viral. And the more shares and likes and comments a post has, the more that someone's likely to see it and believe it's true. But just because something is popular doesn't mean it's true.
Australia has repeatedly warned about the negative effects of social media on mental health. And now the government is on the verge of introducing laws to protect minors. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has announced that his government is going to impose a social media ban for children under the age of 16.
For the mums and dads, social media is doing harm to our kids, and I'm calling time on it. I've spoken to thousands of parents, grandparents, aunties and uncles. They, like me, are worried sick about the safety of our kids online. And I want Australian parents and families to know that the government has your back.
The law is expected to be passed this year and should come into effect 12 months later. Meta says it would follow legislation, but was concerned that its technology may not be ready for the changes. Australia is not the first country to consider banning social media for children. France and the US have also proposed implementing parental consent or a blanket ban for youngsters. Australians have mixed feelings about the ban.
The Albanese government has also confirmed that the proposed legislation will not include any grandfathering clauses. This basically means that if kids are on social media now, they will still have to submit to the age test when it comes in. They will not be exempt from that, nor will they be exempt for reasons of like parental consent.
Great initiative from the government. I think that our youth need protecting and our children need protecting, and this is a great way to do it. This can be such a toxic environment for young minds and developmental minds, and I think that, you know, bullying, the spike in suicides among youth, the predatory behaviour online, body dysmorphia, the filters and how extreme they've got, I think it's so necessary for us.
Australians love to ban things rather than take the time to think about how can this be used in the right context. I've represented people who've been the subject of horrific cyberbullying, and I can understand the desire to prevent stuff like that from happening. What do they think magically happens when they turn 16 in one day? That they're not going to be exposed to this, that they're not going to understand it? And rather than educate people on, hey, this is how this stuff works, we're just taking the approach of just kick them off, don't do it.
India has announced a major boost to its space ambitions, greenlighting $2.7 billion for a lineup of bold projects. This funding will fuel the next phase of its moon exploration, a Venus orbiter mission, and the development of India's first space station, and a new rocket to launch satellites. This is the largest amount of money allocated to India's space efforts. But given the magnitude of these initiatives, experts say it's far from extravagant. India's space program, known for its cost-effective approach, has achieved monumental milestones at a fraction of the cost paid by other nations.
India's Mars orbiter mission Mangalyaan cost $74 million. Its moon mission, Chandrayaan-3, cost around the same at $75 million.
To put that in perspective, that's less than half of the money it took Christopher Nolan to make Interstellar.
For comparison, NASA's Marvin mission to Mars cost $582 million. And Russia's recent lunar mission, which failed, cost $133 million.
So, how does India keep its costs so low? India's space program has always operated under tight budgets. There are old photos of scientists transporting rockets on bicycles and even bullock carts. This reflects how resourcefulness has been woven into the fabric of the program from the very start. Decades later, ISRO's budget remains modest at just $1.55 billion. Compare that to NASA's $25 billion allocation.
One of the reasons India's space mission is comparatively cheap is because it's homegrown. ISRO manufactures most of its technology in-house, keeping costs lower by avoiding pricey imports. Labour costs in India also tend to be lower than the US or Europe, and ISRO rarely outsources manufacturing or buys insurance, unlike NASA. In addition, ISRO skips the typical engineering models used for project testing. Instead of testing a project on a prototype, ISRO uses a single model designed to go straight to launch. Another budget-friendly step that helps maximize every dollar.
Remember Raegun, the Aussie breakdancer at the Olympics? Well, she's being roasted online again. She recently said on a radio show that she was retiring only to backflip, clarifying she's not ready to hang up her dancing shoes just yet. But her retirement announcement was met with plenty of cheers online.
Perez Hilton here, providing you with some much-needed relief. Remember Australian breakdancing sensation Raegun? We will be seeing no more public performances from her. She is done competing.
Why? Wow.
Oh my God! Oh my God, it's heaven! Let's go! Let's go! The world is healing. The world is healing.
We lost a legend. Raegun, aka Australian breakdancer, have officially retired from breakdancer. There's too much going on. Now this. Now we have to deal with this. We have to lose a legend in plain sight. Oh my God, what a legend.
And that's our show. Find our latest stuff on YouTube and do subscribe to our channel. See you soon.